some heavy duty.
Also known as Rockman, Mega Man is the titular character of the 1987 video game, and he went on to become a fan favorite over the years. He was eventually introduced as a super fighting robot in an English version of the game titled Mega Man Powered Up, and he is quite a unique character with much more autonomy than any regular robot. Today, we will dive into the origins and physiological details of this mighty robot who often went through philosophical dilemmas to find his purpose in life. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Who is Mega Man, and what is his origin? In the fictional year 200X, a futuristic robotics expert named Dr. Thomas Light can be credited with creating Mega Man. He worked tirelessly to create a humanoid robot equipped with an advanced artificial intelligence program that would help him make decisions on his own based on vague circumstantial directions. Dr. Light started off by designing a prototype named Proto Man, and he was quite impressed with his own work. However, he soon realized there was an issue with its power retractor, and the robot soon ran away. The prototype had developed a fear of losing his personal identity, but Dr. Light took these developments in stride and started creating a new pair of robots. He had hoped that this pair would work as siblings, and he named them Rock and Roll. While Rock was Dr. Light's assistant, Roll was tasked with household chores, and they were a huge success. This further prompted Dr. Light to create 6 more robots that can be used in the construction and maintenance business. All of them had developed human-like intelligence, so they could get by without relying on concrete instructions. Introduced as Cutman, Gutsman, Iceman, Bombman, Fireman, and Elecman, all of these characters had unique responsibilities, and Dr. Light continued to create a couple more robots, such as Time Man and Oil Man. While he was jubilant about his creation, Dr. Light still needed a fighting robot, which led to his assistant, Rock, volunteered to be into a super fighting robot named Mega Man. How does Mega Man's personality shape his heroism? Like all of Dr. Light's creations, Mega Man's personality was shaped a lot like his creator. Dr. Light designed him to act like a real kid, so Mega Man's behavior is pretty similar to that of a young boy. He was capable of displaying a wide range of emotions, but he was best known for his ability to display courage. His psyche was shaped in a way that he always strived to do right by others, and he typically maintained a pacifist stance and sorted things out without resorting to violence. While he was designed to be a fighter robot, Mega Man stood out due to his kind and polite nature, even when everyone expected him to be a bit more aggressive. Even in Mega Man 7, he decided against killing Wily, even though he deserved it, and went on to help him even when he fell ill in Mega Man 10. This is what set him apart from Dr. Light's other robots, as he was full of compassion even for his opponents. He also came across as a powerful leader whenever he had to lead a team, and all his siblings such as Proto Man and Fireman looked up to him and trusted his judgment. What is Mega Man's purpose in battling Dr. Wily? As soon as Dr. Light's inventions grew famous, one of his rival colleagues named Dr. Albert Wily grew jealous of him. He hoped to create a bigger robot factory and conquer the world, and he once came across Proto Man and repaired his malfunctioning system. Wily then studied his artificial intelligence system in great detail and figured out how to reprogram Dr. Light's robots and turned against him. After securing his army of robots, Dr. Wily tried establishing his rule over the city while Dr. Light processed these events with his assistant Rock. Soon enough, Rock's sense of justice prompted him to set up the task of defeating Wily, and he asked Dr. Light to turn him into the fighter robot as we know as Mega Man. In no time, Mega Man made his way to Wily's fortress and even defeated all of the robots that got in his way before finally defeating Wily as well. However, the Doctor soon got on his knees and begged for Mega Man's forgiveness, though sense of empathy overrode his anger and left him with no option but to forgive Wily. Over time, Mega Man continued to do everything in his power to ensure that humankind and robots coexist in peace. But Wily soon returned to Mega Man 2 to wreak havoc. This time, he had managed to create an army of combat robots designed specifically to defeat Mega Man, but once again, our titular superhero managed to defeat them. He then approached Wily to destroy him forever, but the Doctor somehow transformed into an alien, and Mega Man learned that this was merely a hologram. By the end of the game, Mega Man managed to track Dr. Wily down, but the latter begged for forgiveness once again and managed to get away with his crimes. What abilities make Mega Man unique? Among other things, Mega Man was equipped with an arm cannon called Mega Buster, which was known as his signature weapon. This cannon could fire solar energy bullets, and by Mega Man 4, it had been upgraded to an enhanced weapon that could fire more powerful shots than before. Over the course of the game, the Mega Buster underwent many upgrades such as a Mega Arm, Laser Shot, Arrow Shot, and Auto Shot, and this weapon soon became part of his identity. Mega Man had also sought inspiration from the Robot Master's secret weapons, inserting a computer chip into his systems. Typically, he waited until one of the Robot Masters was destroyed in combat, and then he proceeded to copy their abilities. He had used this system on numerous occasions across the games, such as the time when he copied a missile from Wily Machine 2 in Mega Man 2. Mega Man was also capable of reproducing the powers and abilities of other organic beings, but this was only canon in games such as Street Fighter X Mega Man, and we don't know if he is capable of doing this in his mainstream universe. In addition to copying the Robot Master's special weapons, he can also copy Dr. Light's powers, such as the Magnet Beam or the Mega Ball. How does Mega Man's physical prowess enhance his battles? Besides having an arsenal of unique weapons, Mega Man was also bestowed with superhuman strength by Dr. Light. In fact, his kicks and punches packed more powerful than the Mega Buster's standard shots, and he was so powerful that he could casually pick up people and lunge them at his opponents. He once displayed this ability in the opening scenes of Mega Man 8, where he lifted Charge Man and threw him at Pharaoh Man with such force that both these robots ended up exploding. At the end of Mega Man 5, he once managed to single-handedly hold Wily Castle while it was disintegrating to buy enough time for Proto Man and Dr. Light to escape. Mega Man could also enhance his strength with the help of supplementary weapons, such as Power Adapter or Super Arm. Like most of Dr. Light's creations, Mega Man had excellent reflexes and superhuman speed. He was also quite agile, and he always dodged incoming attacks, even when many robots outnumbered him and aimed at him from different angles. In such a situation, Mega Man was often seen sliding around with great agility to dodge a plethora of attacks ranging from missiles and lasers to sound waves. He was also managed to defeat robots such as Quickman, who was characteristically faster than him, which is an excellent testament to his superhuman reflexes. In another such instance, Mega Man once managed to pilot the Space Rush across an astro field, dodge the Wily star lasers, and outrun the galaxy's man's black holes in a fascinating display of powers. How does Mega Man evolve through gameplay mechanics and tactics? Mega Man was known for some signature gameplay tactics, such as sliding across places to dodge attacks. He was also known for installing the double gear system in Mega Man 11, which helped him boost his speed to such great extent that everything around him could be perceived in slow motion. This device was capable of enhancing powers beyond his usual limits, even though Dr. Light believed that the robots should not be overexerted. He further worried about the double gear system falling into the wrong hands, and these fears came to life when Dr. Wily secured the system and tried to use it on 8 test robots. Eventually, Mega Man convinced Dr. Light to install the double gear system in his body and tried to find a way to merge Dr. Light and Dr. Wily's robot system together. This was considered to be a huge mechanical upgrade to his system, and Mega Man eventually rose in the ranks. When it came to combat and strategic thinking, even though he was initially created to be an assistant, in addition to special tactics, Mega Man's gameplay highlighted his intelligence. He often managed to defeat entire armies of robots without any help from his peers. He was smart enough to master a wide range of weapons in no time, and then use them in non-combat situations, such as wading through a forest. In this way, Mega Man was quite handy, and he often used his intelligence to dig deeper into his opponent's weaknesses and weaponize them to his advantage. His intelligence and presence of mind were often highlighted in key incidents across the games. For instance, he used the energy elements in Mega Man 3 to prevent Dr. Wily from using a peacekeeping robot called Gamma to destroy the world. What philosophical themes are tied to Mega Man's design? Initially, Dr. Light was inspired by musical themes of the rock and roll genre when he created two siblings, robots, by the same names. Over time, Rock stepped up to be a fighter robot named Mega Man, designed and illustrated by Akira Kutomura and Keiji Inafane. Mega Man soon grew popularity in the gaming world, where he has a wide variety of character designs and appearances. Over time, Capcom carefully curated a narrative for Mega Man that was intricately tied with a number of philosophical themes. While casual players might not immediately catch up on these minor themes, they have become a topic of discussion over the years. For starters, Mega Man is the only robot with the ability to turn himself on or off, unlike other robots who are inherently controlled by their creators. This gave him a sense of autonomy, which was considered to be tremendous honor and a burden at the same time. This double-edged sword of autonomy meant that Mega Man could make his own decisions and attempt to find his purpose in life through them. Even though his character mostly deals with violence and action, Mega Man's choices in every situation, ranging from his decision to forgive Wily or defeat a robot, are instrumental to his character and narrative. This philosophical dilemma might not be extremely prominent to the gameplay, but it still adds a whole lot of depth in the fictional stories and remains to be a key component of his franchise. Who are Mega Man's allies and their roles? Considered to be the prototype for Mega Man's character, Proto Man was Dr. Light's first robotic creation. While Dr. Light attempted to repair him, Proto Man ran away to ensure that he did not lose his identity, but he eventually came back to act as a mentor and a sibling figure to Mega Man and other robots. He often looked out for Mega Man and saved him from Dr. Wily's evil schemes, especially whenever the Doctor managed to fool Mega Man. While our titular protagonist was a fighter robot, he had a tendency to walk right into people's traps or trust Dr. Wily's fake promises, and Proto Man looked out for him in such situations. Created as a pair alongside her brother Rock, Roll had been designed for housekeeping purposes. Since Rock eventually stepped up to turn into Mega Man, Rock and Mega Man were technically siblings and shared a close bond. In fact, Mega Man often came back to Dr. Light's headquarters after his missions to catch up with Roll and ensure her well-being. Finally, Dr. Light created a pet robotic dog named Rush to accompany Mega Man on his adventures. This dog wore a red helmet, much like Mega Man's helmet, and he had the ability to transform into Coil, a hoverboard, or even a submarine. Over time, Rush could transform into a variety of other objects, and he was Mega Man's most faithful and loyal companion. How does Mega Man overcome his weaknesses? Mega Man was quite invulnerable to all kinds of equipment, but certain environmental hazards such as spikes and pitfalls could destroy him. He once fell into a pit and had to be rescued by Beat, and in another such instance, Mega Man almost died after falling into a burning pool of lava. Of course, most of these hazards are just part of a typical video game mechanics, where most characters must avoid falling into pitfalls. His agility and reflexes typically helped him land on his feet, but he has fallen into quite some trouble after exposure to spikes. Thorns or sharp spikes of any kind were seemingly hazardous to Mega Man, and opponents such as Needle Man and Drill Man had managed to do a substantial damage to his body. He was also exposed to extreme heat by Heat Man and copious amounts of lava by Magma Man, but his character was designed to cope with certain fixed units of damage in the original game. For instance, he could bear to take up to 10 units of damage from Thunder Beam and the Ice Shaker, and he was shown great resilience to superior weapons such as the Ice Wall and Spark Shocks as well. While he's shown to have a weakness to Elemental Hazard, he has become exponentially more resistant to elemental weapons over the course of his story arc. Mega Man's stash of special weapons were also a source of his weakness, and they had very limited ammunition and could not be entirely trusted in tough situations. He had to rely on other ways of defeating his opponents, especially since his most powerful weapons were the ones that lacked ammunition. Moreover, he was powered by solar energy, and he had to ensure he did not stick around in darkness too long at risk of running out of energy. What are Mega Man's iconic battles against Wily's forces? After Dr. Wily's imprisonment in Mega Man 6, the evil antagonist somehow came up with a way to defeat Mega Man even from the depths of prison. He had stashed a team of 4 robots that could be activated remotely, and then he directed them to break him out of prison. When Mega Man reached the prison, he met another robot named Bass, who convinced him that he was on the same side. Together, they hoped to defeat Wily's robots and prevent him from escaping. But Mega Man was sidetracked when Wily's deployed MASH to fight on his behalf. While Mega Man was busy dealing with MASH, Shade Man had injured Bass beyond measure, and to our titular hero then abandoned his mission to rescue Bass. He took him back to Dr. Light to fix him, but he was soon mortified to learn that Bass was one of Wily's creations, and that this was an elaborate plot to sneak into Dr. Light's lab and steal his blueprints for the Super Adapter. As soon as he got wind of Wily's plans, Mega Man rushed to the castle to face him, and even defeated Bass for good. Just like his previous interactions with Wily, Mega Man found himself in a tough spot when the villain started apologizing for his past mistakes, but he refused to let him make a fool out of him another time. Mega Man proceeded to pull out his Mega Buster to kill him, while Wily tried to reason with him, but Bass and Trouble somehow appeared at the scene and saved their creator after all. Unfortunately, the castle went up in flames, and Mega Man then managed to escape the place on his own, while still trying to process everything that had just gone down. As the franchise expanded, Wily became more of a background character who kept up appearances every now and then, and his next notable story arc was several years down the line in Mega Man 9. In this reality, Dr. Light's robots had wreaked havoc all over the world, and Mega Man had stepped up to look into the matter and clear his name. While the police were close to arresting Dr. Light, Mega Man faced the Robot Masters and learned that they were about to be decommissioned and that they had reached their expiration date. As he continued to look into the matter, Mega Man discovered that Dr. Wily had managed to reprogram these robots to destroy humanity instead of serving them. In a desperate attempt to clear Dr. Light's name, Mega Man once again made his way to Dr. Wily's castle to defeat him. Like all of their past encounters, Dr. Wily immediately started begging for forgiveness and eventually tricked Mega Man into believing that Dr. Light was trapped in the next room. Even though Mega Man was skeptical, he decided to check the place out anyway and was soon electrocuted by the fake light robot. In a brave attempt to destroy Mega Man, Dr. Wily set his own castle to self-destruct and escaped, while Proto Man rushed to Mega Man's rescue. Over the years, Mega Man found himself in a predicament due to Dr. Wily on numerous occasions, but it is a true testament to his kindness that he still hoped that he might have turned into a better person. What transformations expand Mega Man's powers? In Mega Man 6, the franchise introduced the concept of adapters, enabling Mega Man to merge his bodies with other robots to enhance his powers. Of course, this had its own side effects, and he could sometimes also lose control over some of his abilities or experiences them in a more inhibitor manner. For instance, the Rush Jet adapter helped him fuse with Rush and turned him into Jet Mega Man, wherein he gained the ability to hover midair for brief periods of time. Besides Jet Mega Man, he could turn into Power Mega Man and gain control over a short-range attack that could repel most of his opponents and Mega Man 7 then introduced a whole new form known as a Super Mega Man, where he could hover mid-air and repel opponents at the same time. In another comic series titled Worlds Collide, Mega Man was entirely invulnerable to any damage with some help from the Chaos Emerald, and his Mega Buster was also much more powerful than earlier iterations. In the Marvel vs. Capcom Clash of Superhero Comics, Mega Man managed to fuse with 3 other robots, such as Rush, Eddie, and Beat, to transform into the Hyper Mega Man. In this version, he could shrink or grow much taller in size, and even use an arm cannon to fire projectiles. As the Hyper Mega Man, he had a rocket pack fitted onto his back, and he could also shoot projectiles from his shoulders, back, and torso. Marvelous verdict. And with that, we have explored The Rock's eventual transformation into Mega Man and all his major wins against Dr. Wily and other such opponents. He was truly an intelligent being who brought a lot more to the table than just a good fighting technique. And it is no surprise that he has reached an icon status among fans. We hope you enjoyed exploring his origins and powers with us, and we would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.